What's happening, everybody? Justin here with Extreme Shitters. Today we're bringing you the follow-up video from our disassembly video of the Staccato CS. Today we'll be reinstalling a new grip module that we did. It'll be same size grip module. This is the tactical premium borders without the star, regular reduction with our Cobalt multicam paint job. In addition to that, we will be installing the trigger we did in collaboration with Red Dirt USA. This is grip specific for the CS and the C. So the tool list will go as follows: a 1/8 inch roll pin punch. That'll help with putting the mainspring housing pin back in addition to the trigger guard bushing if you need it. I will be installing our black nitride grip screw kit without the lower screw because there's no place to put it. I like to keep it across my builds so they're consistent. For that, we'll be using a 1/8 inch Allen wrench along with two 1/16 inch Allen wrenches as well. If you're installing the factory screws, you'll use the same T25 Torx and two T10 Torx that we used in the previous video. If you've not seen that video, there's a link to it in the description. You can go follow along with that, and then you can come back to this video when it's time to reinstall your grip. So you will need a 10-8 Performance Armorers tool or similar for removing the thumb safety. 10-8 Performance Armorers block or something similar. A 3/16 roll pin punch that'll help with assembling the components to go into the mainspring housing. And then something that is helpful but not completely necessary is the Dawson Precision bushing installation tool. This is for the larger grip bushings. If you don't have that, you can take your 1/8 inch Allen key, and if you have an extra screw laying around for the larger grip screws, or the larger grip bushings, sorry, you can use that. So, in my previous video, I had someone leave a comment that I did not take out the Sear and the disconnector. As far as for taking apart the grip, you don't necessarily have to do it, but I will show you in this video how to remove it and reinstall it. You can use a small punch, or for me, I'm using a pick. If you set the frame on its nose, push into the small hole that holds the pin that keeps the Sear and the disconnector in place. Take your pointer finger on the bottom, and if you can get your thumb in there, great. Grab onto it. You can pull the pin out. Set that off to the side, and you can pull it out. Now, it's very important that you keep the orientation, or remember it. The disco will go on like that, and the Sear will sit on here, and they will just interlock with each other. For reinstalling it, I like to hold on to it like this. You take your finger, I'll do my best to show this on video, put it on the bottom so it kind of helps with the ramp. And I find it's a little bit more easier to feel it. You're not able to get it to work. Readjust your fingers. That's very important in lining it up. You can see through it. You may have to use your small punch or your pin. You'll know if you did it correctly, because it does not fall out the backside. Now, while this is out, you can take advantage of oiling it, cleaning it, and oiling on the inside through the top where the disconnector pops out. That will help you just with maintenance and longevity of your build, having everything oiled. Now that the Sear and disconnector are installed, we can continue forward. It is a lot easier to install it with the grip module out, and as far as installing the grip, I'll show you a real easy trick. We're going to take our trigger first. Just a side note, you'll see that there are these little bumps on the back of the bow. Now, this is for any tolerance issues that are with the Staccato frame. There may be a chance that if you install and tighten everything down, that the trigger will not move freely inside of the grip. You'll take it back apart, and you'll just take material off the top of these tabs. It's usually about 5 to 10 thousandths. On my build in particular was 5 thousandths on both sides. Don't overdo it because you don't want the back. It'll stop the lateral movement up and down. Or I'm sorry, the vertical movement up and down. So we're going to take our new grip module, take our trigger, install it as normal. If you are going with the factory grip, install the same way. Make sure that the little pre-travel tab is on top and slide it in. Make sure everything's moving. When you took it apart, make sure you clean it. If you're getting your new grip module in, everything will already be cleaned. If you want to add a little bit of oil, you can. Take your mag release. You'll see that there is a longer portion. Make that portion face up. Hold the grip like this, and you can look on the inside. Slide it in just before you get to touching the grip. Turn it counterclockwise. Make sure it sits completely flush. Grab your 1/16 inch Allen key. Make sure you're fully seated. I like to put my thumb on this side just to help hold it. Press on the smaller button side and turn clockwise. You'll get an audible click, and then just ensure that your trigger is moving freely. Now, installing it back onto the frame, you'll see that you can move your Sear and your disconnector. Press it where it's as far back as it can on the frame. Take your grip. If you put your pointer finger and you push forward on the trigger, that'll ensure you get proper alignment. And then just attach to the frame. Putting a little bit of oil can be helpful on the rails. And you can see right here that the Sear and disconnector on the other side of the boat, which we do not want. So you get your finger in there, and you can ensure it's fully seated to the frame, the grip module. Now, I'm going to use the bushing installation tool for this video, but I will show you on the other side what you can do if you do not have this tool. You're going to take your bushings, and you'll see that there is a flat side, and then everything else is round. You're going to take the flat side, and you want that flat portion to be parallel with your frame rails. Now, this is kind of a finesse thing, and for the CS and the C, it's a little bit more difficult because this gap is much smaller. So I find if you hold the grip flat and tilt it back, and then stick your finger in there, it allows you to get it close. You take your bushing installation tool. You just want to snug it up just a little bit. Now, looking on the inside, you see right there that the top of the bushing is flat. You can rotate it around if you have to. Mainly, you can feel it with your fingers. You just want to keep tightening it until it's fully seated. Just like so. Now, if you do not have the bushing installation tool, the process will be very similar. Make sure the flat portion of your bushing is lined up with your frame. Slide it in there. If you have an extra grip screw, you can put it in there so. Again, double check that everything is flush and flat to the frame. You don't want it to go on crooked. You go from there. Now, this screw, if you're checking for the first time to make sure everything fits correctly with the new grip module, put your other screw in and tighten it down. Don't torque it yet. If your trigger does not move freely like this, you will have to take it apart and do a little bit of fitting. on the back of the bow. If it works as it is, you can continue. So this is my extra screw that I have laying around. Let's set that off to the side. Next, you'll take your barrel bushing. This is for the trigger guard. And you can go in through the left or through the right, however you have your gun last sat down. You can install it that way. I like to press on the trigger guard into the frame. Then you can take your 1/8 inch punch. Doesn't take a whole lot. That way it's fully seated into the frame. Now, what we can do next is we will grab our grip screws, trigger guard screws, and our screws all together. Use a little bit of blue Loctite. The blue Loctite that we have that comes with our triggers works just fine. Take our 1/8 inch Allen wrench. Now you do not need to put a whole lot, just a small droplet. About that much on there. Proportional to the threads. You don't need to saturate it. If you're taking the grip on and off often, the blue Loctite is nice. If you are not, you can put a small droplet of red, but I do not recommend that for most people because it can strip the gun out or strip the screw, and it makes it a much bigger headache. So another small droplet of blue. Just want to snug it down for right now. Take your Torx tool. Make sure you're set for 25 inch-pounds. The range is 25 to 30, so don't sweat it if you don't hit the exact 25 mark. Now you'll take your 1/16 inch Allen key. Now this one is little, so you don't need that much to begin with. So just a small droplet. The other side has red on it already. Swap it around. And this front one here is 5 inch-pounds. So snug it up. Take your Allen keys, put them off to the side. So that is pretty much the hardest part that you're going to experience. The rest of the install is pretty simple. So we're going to set this down for now. We're going to grab our mainspring housing. Grab our mainspring housing components. Now when you took it apart, you should have cleaned it and oiled it. I already have oil and everything on it. You have a side that's pointed and you have a side that's concave. The concave will go up. So for easy installation, so none of the components fall out, take the bottom of your mainspring housing, where the hole is at, face it downward, and take the pointed side, face it up, and you can slide it all the way into the grip of the mainspring housing. You're going to take your 3/16 roll pin punch inside of your armorer's block. Now if you hold your fingers on it like this, you can take it, put your thumb on the top, grab your retaining pin, just push it down, double check you're seated properly on the back. Set this off to the side for the moment. Now you can grab your hammer. Make sure everything is cleaned and oiled before you reinstall it. I like to use Vendetta Apex oil. You do not need a lot of this stuff. Small drop. Where you're going to have contact. Same on the inside of the frame. This is much easier to install in comparison to the Sear and the disconnector. We're going to go in at an angle. Make sure everything lines up. Now, you want to make sure your hammer strut is out of the way for right now. Everything is moving freely as it should. Take your Sear spring, make sure it sits in this orientation. Lock it into the groove first, and you just want everything to set. You don't want either of the fingers gouged inside of it, otherwise your trigger will not work. Take your mainspring housing assembly, slide it up. An easy test. Everything is moving as it should. So we'll do it for real this time. Hold your hammer. Make sure your hammer strut slides in to the middle. Your trigger should be nice and set. An easy test that you can do since you are already at this point. Take your pen. Make sure you get the two clicks and make sure you hold the hammer so you can seat it all the way up. Take your mainspring housing pin. I like to have the dimple be towards the left side. Push up on the mainspring housing, you'll hit the retaining pin head. You can just take your hand, push it down, and then take your roll pin carefully. You'll get a nice little click. You can make sure everything is good to go with that. Now, I will upload a different video showing the setup process as mine has already been set. But you can go through here on top of the bow. Into the top, there's a view. There's a screw inside of the bow. This is how you will adjust your pre-travel so you can get that perfect take up for you. For me personally, I like just a little bit less than factory pre-travel, but that's where I like, just so I have that catch point if I need it to be. But mine is already set, so I can continue forward with the installation. Now we can continue with the rest of the installation. Grab your beaver tail, make sure your hammer is all the way up. Make sure the teeth that go on the bottom that hit on the inside of the mainspring housing go on first. Then everything will slide forward. Make sure the surface is clean and oiled before putting the right side thumb safety on. Make sure everything is working properly. Take your spring and detents. Make sure the tiny one goes in first. You can see it poke out there. With the hammer down, grab your left side thumb safety. Make sure you have oil on this side. Now as far as positioning goes, you have this pin down here for reference. I like to go about right there. Make sure both sides are even. Take your armorer's tool. Ensure that you are pinching inward like that. If you have any extra oil that has dripped around. Just make sure you wipe it off. I like to do a small test at this point. Okay, so we're going to leave the hammer down. Make sure that your slide stop is cleaned and oiled. We're going to put a little bit of oil on the top. This Apex oil from Vendetta does not need a whole lot. If you don't like it on your fingers, you can always just use a Q-tip. I don't mind a little bit of oil. Make sure it's on the top of your rails, the sides, and inside the pocket below the rails. Make sure your hands are not dusty or dirty before you do this. I like to just put some oil. You can also use a cloth with some oil. At that point, we're on the home stretch now. Ensuring your hammer is down. If you've not already cleaned your slide and oiled it, you should have already done it before this point. Grab your slide stop. Make sure the barrel lug is in its correct spot. All right. At this point, I would let the gun sit for about 24 hours to let the Loctite dry up, and then you can go out and test it. You should always test your gun before you carry it, no matter the modifications, just to ensure everything works in case you were to ever get into a situation where you needed your gun. So, this is the assembly video for the Staccato CS. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for further videos.